Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company, and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. It is the month of October. The salmon have moved into the river, and today folks, I'm looking for that evening salmon bite. And because I'm fishing the evening and the water is a bit murked, I'm gonna run the American Smelt crankbait. And here's the thing with the crankbaits, folks, when you're fishing for salmon. So the crankbait, this crankbait is a deep dive. It'll dive 20 feet. But not when you're cranking from shore. When you're boatless, it's gonna dive down, hit a maximum depth, and it's gonna come right back up again. So you're only gonna be a really short spell in the strike zone. And that's totally fine when you're fishing from shore. Keep your rod tip down, try to maximize the depth, and then once you're down there and you're cranking, what you could do is you get a little bit closer, just raise your rod tip up. You don't wanna get hung up on the rocks, and then just crank it in when you're close to shore. Now, in the evening bite, there's also an opportunity. Looks like I got somebody else's line here. There's also an opportunity to catch muskies. So I'm excited about that too. I'm targeting salmon, but it's a chance I could get muskies. And here it looks like somebody's line really balled up. So I'm gonna take that out. We don't wanna leave that in the water. We're gonna take that out. I'm gonna bring that home and dispose of it properly. And if you come across something like that when you're fishing, please do so. We don't want to leave stuff behind as anglers. Be as clean as we can. So the American Smelt deep dive it is. The evening bite. The sun is going down. We're hoping to get in some nice salmon. Who knows? Maybe a bonus muskie. So stay tuned while I wrap this up and get ready to toss that out. Oh, wow. Did you see that? Oh. Well, folks, we had a few things happen. Nighttime came upon us, which is what we've been waiting for, and look who showed up. Whoa! We got the Boatless angler with us today. He heard that I was down here fishing, so what does he do? Hey, grabbed his fishing rod and he comes down to join me. Now, we've been waiting for the sun to go down, as I mentioned earlier. One of the reasons is, and for those of you who know, who've been tuning in for a while, you know what my favorite lure is for salmon, and that is by far the number 4 sting eye spinner. And you know that. But at nighttime, if you want to throw crankbaits, I like to throw crankbaits into the night, because as night comes down, the salmon are not afraid and they'll come a little closer. And as I mentioned earlier about the lure only going so deep. Wow!
What a jump.
That was a nice jump. So in other words, with this dark condition, salmon come closer, your plug now, your crankbait, becomes a lot more effective because you're in the strike zone longer. When the water's clear and the sun is up, those salmon are out deeper and they're hugging bottom. Darkness, they come in closer and you got a good chance. And plus the American Smelt, what I like about it, one of the features I like about it, is that it also it's got a lot of rattles in it. So salmon have good night vision. Oh boy. But you know what? The rattles just help those salmon key in on the lure and find it, and they just attack it. Okay, Antonio, I'm glad you joined me because
I can net your fish.
I can net them. You ready? He's not ready. Okay, and in the bag. Oh, he's going crazy. Oh, he is going crazy. Look at that. Looks like the first.
Look at that fish.
Wow, that is a nice salmon. We got the infrared going, but let's see here. You just put my my light on, and you can take a look at this fish a little bit better. Look at that. And you can tell I also changed colors. You can see I went with the blue American Smelt. When it got darker, when it was lighter, I had the chartreuse on, and now that it's darker, I went with the blue, and he just hammered it, and that one hook is just right there in the side of the mouth. Absolutely perfect hook set, and one beautiful fish right there. And this one, it's a nice small female, so you know what, folks, we're gonna hang on to this fish. I'm gonna grab, let's take him out and grab a photo and take a better look at him. Okay, off he comes. Oh, that's a nice sign. That's a nice king right there. That is one nice Chinook salmon. right there. Not too big, just absolutely perfect. So this one, I think this one is gonna go in the smoker as well. And gonna make for a decent meal, I think, that's for sure. Okay, now, was it the nighttime that brought me luck? Or was it the boatless angler who decided to join me? We'll let Antonio think it was the boatless angler. But really, it was the nighttime. I gotta get another line wet. The night is young. The sun just went down, so we're good to go for another little while yet. So if you haven't yet, folks, gone out for salmon, give it a try. It's an absolute blast, and it's a great time for the boatless angler to get into those big, powerful king salmon. What a time of year, I love it. Thanks ever so much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips, and as always, folks, until next time, good luck and good fishing. Beautiful.